like to say that we are going to be starting off with Nicole and her Complete Mortgage Closing Solutions team talking about title insurance. So I will jump over to their slideshow and they can take it away if you want. Yeah, I mean, I can get up and you can do a little scrolly or like.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Like I didn't study.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm Nicole, last name's Bowie, and with Complete Mortgage Closing Solutions title company here in Pittsburgh. We've been open since 2010. And with me is Casey Busenbark and Matt Trax. We're out doing some title talk today, and we want to start with, hopefully, you're awake because title can be pretty boring at times. But I find it pretty interesting. That's why I've been in it for over 25 years now. And there's a lot to learn. And I feel like the more we know in our industry, the better off we are. So we work with First American and Fidelity, which are two of the biggest national underwriters out there, and they give us a lot of the support that we need to continue to do what we do. Currently, we're licensed in Pennsylvania, and when we get your contracts, we start off with the title search. The title search is looking back at the history of the property. That's the nice thing about title, is you get to learn a lot about the history. If you've ever been really bored, you get onto the courthouse and you can look at all the records back from the mortgages. Now COVID has done one thing, it has done a lot of things of putting a lot of our information online, except for taxes in Pennsylvania. So I'm sure we have all ran into that. So as we talk about taxes, each municipality in Pennsylvania, each county has all the different municipalities have tax requirements. And as we're finding out, the die test. So they can really delay your transaction, your die test, your occupancy. We're working on, East McKeesport right now, for example. Once they get the die test, they're gonna take 15 days to give it to an engineer to review. So when we thought the die test is done, good, passed everything, now they send it off to an engineer who's gonna take 15 days to review it. Absolutely ridiculous. Now they're also starting to require your refinances to have die tests. So you go out to Westmoreland County, you have North Huntington, Murraysville, a lot of those will require die tests on your refinances. Plum, you have Carnegie or South Township over in Carnegie. So a lot of these, that is going to be my hill to die on because it is absolutely ridiculous. They're none of them are the same. You can go to the city of Pittsburgh, we order the search there. 90% of them they go through. You don't have to send anybody out. There's a small percentage that does, but they should be uniform. Everybody should have the same requirement. They told me it's required by the EPA. Well, then why doesn't everybody require the same thing? Why are some lateral? Why are some just camera tests? Why are some die tests? Whatever the case may be, as you are listing those properties, you want to have an understanding as to what's required because that is the seller's requirement. The occupancy inspections, the zoning inspections, and the die test. So that's where most of the delays are going to happen. And then if they fail, well, then that's a whole other problem. The one with just recently in Murraysville and Monroeville, over $6,000 worth of work had to happen. So we know how that can affect a transaction, but some of them will let you close an escrow and some of them won't. So, just be aware of those things. So everybody can stay on top of it, being organized, involving the sellers, knowing what is required up front when you're listing the properties. In most circumstances, some of them will do the test. Some of them you have to find a certified plumber in that county to do it. I'm sure you have a network of them. If not, we have a network of plumbers we work with as well if the townships aren't doing them themselves. So that helps us stay organized, getting the information from you. Once we're ready to close, we work with the agents. We know there's a lot of parties in the transaction, right? You guys are dealing with the buyer's agent, the seller. Maybe you're working with an estate, you're dealing with the attorney or a trust or somebody who has their children helping them if they're elderly. You're dealing with the title company, the mortgage company, the appraisers, the inspectors. You guys have a lot of people that are involved in the transaction. And what we want to do is try and help you keep organized and stay on track. So It's important, you know, when we send out some emails, introducing ourselves to your clients, you know, getting that paperwork back. I mean, ultimately the goal is to close the loan. So sending over your commission statements, any addendums, any home warranty invoices, those help keep us on track and staying organized. Also, you know, title insurance. What is title insurance? Some might find it's a necessary evil of the transaction. It's a state regulated cost. Your title insurance is based on either the loan amount or the sales price, whichever is higher. Pennsylvania has a simultaneous issue on the policy, so it will be based off the higher premium amount. So if your sales price is higher, that's what it's going to be. And other states, not that it matters, you know, you pay separate for that. It's an owner's policy is one premium and a lender's policy. And even in some areas like Ohio, they may have the sellers pay for some of that too. So, but not here. We're in Pennsylvania where they have nothing online, which we are basically the only state that does not have our taxes online in the whole country. So that is, and then you would think, well, Philadelphia, which is like the top crime capital in our state or city in our state, they have all their stuff online. But not here. Most of our stuff, we have to pay our tax collectors to get information that we already pay them for, which again, it might be a person who was elected and works a Tuesday from 4 to 5 o'clock every other third week. So, so those are some of the challenges we're up against when working with them. But we have a good network and good relationships with a lot of these tax collectors. We do our best to stay on top of them. Jordan Tax might be an exception if anything.
That's the hill I'm gonna die on.
Yeah. Yes, yes. And if somebody's off in their office, well, nobody touches their work is what they basically tell us. So if you are taking a nice vacation, then that's going to sit there. And they won't fax, they won't email. Occasionally they've let a few people show up at their office, but then it's always something. So, you know, as with everything we do, time is of the essence. We know right now rates are up, right? We got to meet these deadlines because rate extensions are going to be costly for the consumer. So we will do everything we can, working with you and working with all the parties to make sure that we are closing on time. So we will help you any way we can. And the reason to have title insurance is because bad things do happen. I could probably have a whole day of talking about the title claims that happen out there and what people do and fraudulent transactions and people who say, oh, I'm Nicole and I'm going to sell you this house, and they're not really Nicole, or my so-and-so passed away, but they're really just in a nursing home. So it's important when sometimes we're asking for things, it's not just because we're bored and we want to be nosy, it's just really because we want to try and make sure that the customers aren't affected in any single way. But that's title. Title's fun. You know, we're here to help you. We want to close loans. We ultimately know that the only way any of us get paid is by closing loans. So helping you facilitate the transaction in any way we can will be, you know, is what we do. We like to say we have solutions to closing and we will help you find those solutions. So if anybody has any title questions, I'm here. If not, we left our information. We're an email, a phone call away. And
you mentioned closing escrow.
yes.
There's some newer agents that are either watching or going to watch this later. Can you explain that process to our new agents?
So closing an escrow has two different meanings. Well, sometimes we hold inheritance tax in escrow. So we hold money for a certain period of time once whatever needs to happen gets done. So where Monroeville will allow you to hold money in escrow after so many documents are signed and they receive an estimate for a dye test. So you have to provide the paperwork. Say it's cold out, they can't get to the work until the summer, so you have 90 days to get the work done, completed. They have to go out and re-inspect it. We release the money back to them. So that's one way. In some areas where they allow you to hold that money in escrow, maybe the seller's paying for it, maybe you negotiate the buyer's paying for it, but whatever it is, they have only so much amount of time to get that work completed so that the money can be released. So that sometimes is an option, but it is really up to the municipality to make that determination.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
As a title agent, what is the number one pet peeve or mistake you see agents making when they're submitting orders to you?
I have recently found that the actual sellers are not listed on the sales agreement. Maybe it's a trust, or maybe it's somebody's deceased and they're just listing, you know, say the deed of record is Jack Smith and they're just listing Jack Smith. Well, Jack Smith is deceased and no longer owns this property. The executor should be signing it. I've even had the point where somebody signed their name as Jack Smith. And, you know, those create a lot of delays. You know, if we submit the order, if we didn't do our due diligence up front to say, well, wait a minute, Jack Smith, we did a quick Google search, Jack Smith is dead. Is his son named Jack Smith, or whatever the case may be? But that's one of the things that we're finding is that proper people.
So getting more specific in terms of who the seller is, it could be just, you know, Jack Smith, comma, executor is, or whoever.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, is finding that information. One, you know, we find that, well, so-and-so died and their spouse was just going to sign for them. Well, that's not always the case. If their spouse is not on that deed with them, that does not automatically go to that spouse if they're not on the deed. So, you know, that creates delays, and that's what I find to be one of the bigger issues that I'm seeing right now. And, you know, not communicating. I know that I think everybody has that challenge with everything. You know, we try and get to you right up front. Hey, this is required, this is required, this is required. You know, if it's not done, these places are taking 10 to 15 days to get back to you and review it. We need to get our CDs out and closed at least, you know, they say 3 days, but we want numbers. So if you're waiting that last minute, it can potentially delay. So it's communicating to get that done. And some people be like,
commission statements are an issue too sometimes you run into.
you would think that that's the first thing somebody would want to send over to you, but
Well,
sometimes with the
So
track,
that's an
people don't.
interesting point.
Mhm.
I don't send them right away because they change.
Yes.
Due to inspections or appraisal differences or whatever. So the question I have is, would you prefer it to be the original one to just come to you and then any updates in an email, or do you have to send an actual updated statement?
I think that you know, I don't have a problem waiting. You know, like you said, negotiations, that anything changes. You know, why do the work twice?
Yeah.
But when all that's just finalized,
You send it.
yeah, I sometimes tracking down people for that,
That's
or
right.
like it's
Yeah.
yeah. And then making sure they match. You know, one agent thinks that it's, you know, based off of the net price, not the net price, the seller assist, not the seller assist, and you know, we're trying to get in the middle of this, and they're like, well,
Yeah.
this was on the MLS and this wasn't, and I'm like,
Figure it out.
yeah.
But on the buyer's side, and I know Jennifer does this as well, but the clear to close is my flag. That's
Very
the
good.
flag that goes, okay, we have a clear to close. And on the buyer's side, that's my opportunity to is to get out to the buyer, what they coordinating, what they need to bring to the table, contacting the utility suppliers, contacting trash haulers, you know, getting them integrated into the neighborhood they're gonna be moving into from a budgetary standpoint and a life planning standpoint. But from the seller side, what is,
The appraisal.
yes, okay, that's
Oh,
your
sorry, I
flag.
answered your question.
That's your flag. That's your flag, okay.
That's fine.
Is that enough time? I mean, is there enough time typically?
It will depend if the appraisal, if you know that the appraisal has conditions and those things are still kind of being ironed out or whatever, then it's usually the end of inspections, the inspection contingency.
25 acres.
Conversation. I typically don't wait for the clear to close. I do go a little bit earlier just to keep everybody, keep the train on the track and everybody knows what's coming, you know?
Yeah.
Because in those it could be last 3 days that you get the clear to close. They're in the middle of packing and whatever. So I just find a little bit easier, a little bit earlier, but yeah.
I mean, you should have, by the time you clear to close, that should
Oh,
be by
100%.
the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
So we break out the agent.
Oh, no, absolutely, yes.
Hi, I'm Carrie Ann. I'm with AJM Mortgage. I don't really have any questions, but Complete Mortgage Solutions, they're great. Anytime we work with them, and I'm pretty sure I've emailed Nicole
Yes.
before, I've emailed Bernadette, they get back to me so fast and like answer any questions after closing. Like sometimes things come up. Anytime I've emailed any of them, I hear back like hour, at the latest an hour later. They're definitely great at getting back and one of my favorite title companies to work with.
It's really tough, I think, as a realtor, because you want to have multiple preferred vendors, like you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. But you do find that when you are working with a single company that's hitting on those cylinders, you just kind of stick with them. So like, what would you say sets you apart in terms of your business that would encourage agents to consider throwing one your way to just kind of spread the wealth a little?
Stole my question again.
I'm sorry.
Well, to that, I think it is our communication, our experience and our communication. I mean, we've been in this, Bernadette as well has been in this over 20 years, and we've seen the roller coasters of the industry. We know it's important to you, and it's important to us. And I think us communicating and, you know, I don't know about, I think maybe it's firstborn child or something. I need to get stuff done. I have tasks to get done. I want to get things done. I need to get out of my inbox. I need to get you what you want. That can sit there. That's what separates us. And the girl and the people, we're women, you know, we do the work inside. We get the work done. And, you know, we want to work with, you know, people who also want to get the work done and work with us, you know. The point of me starting this company was to, if the industry was going down, I worked for a good company and they were leaving. And it gave me the opportunity to know that when we have some flexibility in our jobs and in our life, that we work better with our clients and our customers. And I give that to the employees too. So it's our communication.
Awesome.
And kind of to piggyback off of that too, we're a small business, so it's like every file that we come in can make or break our company. Like we know we take that. I'm the sales guy of the group, so we take that white glove approach to each file because we know it's going to be your reputation on the line. Because ultimately nobody knows about the title company. It's going to be your file that's coming through. It's going to be the lender's file who's coming through, whether it's a refinance or a purchase. But something that we're kind of implementing now, Matt's taking the lead on this, is each client that comes through that's bringing us business, we're trying to kind of spotlight you more on the social media side of things. Like we just started, I think we're 2 months in now, where we're doing client spotlight. So let's say you send us a deal and you're loving the way we do work and you keep sending us business. We're like, okay, let's add them in. We'll do a little biography about you through our company's website and just kind of expose you even more to all of our friends and followers and our family. So you can have another shot at more business for you. So I'm kind of taking that different approach on that aspect.
Chris Keller has a question.
I just wanted to give Nicole a quick plug in CMCS and say that one of the reasons why I have them in my partner group is you guys have probably noticed Nicole has a presence in the room. And sometimes when you have people at a closing, they need that. I work with a lot of investors that sometimes feel like they know the contract better than the agent or the broker, or sometimes feel like they know the settlement process better than the settlement company. And I like it when Nicole handles those situations at the table for me.
Thank you, Chris. Our experience allows us to do that. And we want to know your process. You know, Casey has a lending background as well. Matt has an agent background. Corwin, some of you may remember Corwin, you know, had an agent background as well. So it allows us to help each of you and the buyers, the sellers, the lenders, the brokers, and the transaction with it by understanding the whole process of the loan. So.
Any other questions from anybody out in inner space?
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Fresh bagels and pastries.
Yeah,
Just want to open my back here. Thank you for the time. Have a good day.
thank you.
Oh, great.
On the south.
I'm Nicole. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I do, yes.
You have a card?
I don't, I just ordered.
Okay, no worries.
Post it in the chat as well for our agents.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So good.
Yeah.
Take it as a good sign when people start stealing them from me. So I'm not- so much.
No, feels like I need that
Right, yeah,
pen.
come on over, come on
Yeah.
over.
I'm gonna give you,
Thank you.
uh,
Oh, thank
Okay.
you.
So I would, leave you guys somewhere down the road here. Come in, maybe half an hour, listen down, and maybe take some questions from the agents. We do our courses, we do 12 weeks on, 12 weeks off. So we're doing the first 12 weeks now, so probably sometime in the summer.
Okay.
Okay.
And we can always bring our underwriters in too, if we need more of the legalese, get into depth if we ever need something like that, but
That might be good for our Jennifer Burns. It might be good for our top 20 agents.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be
But
great.
any questions you have off the fly, send them my way. I'll be more than happy to help you out and
Excellent.
answer anything that crosses the can.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Alrighty, so do you want to speak real quick, Carrie Ann?
Oh,
Sure.
We can just do rolling out vendors.
The only thing Todd really wanted me to go over that we've been seeing lately is, sorry, sometimes with lowering the cost of the loan, a lot of people have been lowering the cost of the loan, which definitely benefits the buyer, but it really only brings down the payment sometimes like $25 to $50. So Todd said sometimes it's better, instead of lowering the loan amount, if that's in your, if you're going through your negotiations, then it might be better to push and see if they'll, instead of lowering the loan amount, if they'd be willing to offer seller's assist. Because, I mean, if your payment's dropping $25 to $50, that's great, but if you're bringing $5,000 less to closing or $3,000 less to closing, that's just really good, especially for first-time home buyers who are getting into a house and you never know what'll come up. The furnace might go, or, you might have to put a new roof on. So you don't want to put all of your savings into that down payment. So he said, just keep in mind during negotiations that instead of, and everybody wants to lower the loan amount. When the buyer's like, hey, I want a lower loan, I want a lower loan, you might want to, he was just saying, you might want to say to them, yeah, lower loan's great. But if you're saving a couple thousand that you have to, you want to furnish your new home, or you want to paint and do different things, that might be just a better option to talk to the buyers about. Not to tell you how to do your jobs, you guys are all great. But and interest rates are on the rise, so yeah, we'll try to get everything locked in as quick as possible for you and get you guys the best deal we can find. We're certainly working with a lot of different lenders, so we can look at a lot of different options than just banks who offer one thing. So.
We'll talk more about interest rates later, but I'm glad you mentioned that because I just read an article this morning that although they are on the rise, they're looking at, there's going to be a plateaued progression to this. So there will be periods of plateau where we'll just jump in and take advantage of it.
Right, and the other thing is I feel like buyers have gotten used to for the past few years with COVID and whatnot, those were historically low interest rates. I mean, if you got in 2020, 2021, you hit the rate lottery. And 4-5%, those are even still like average loan rates for the past few years. So I think people are getting worried about the rates, but historically these have been the average rates prior to COVID. So it shouldn't scare people from buying a house. I mean, you're paying 24% on credit cards, you're paying your loan for your car could be 8%. So people are gonna buy houses, whether the interest rates go up or not.
As Gary pointed out last week, and agents that were in the game back then will know this too, in the late 80s, interest rates were 18%.
Right.
So 4, 5, 6
It could always be worse,
could be worse. Yeah,
but thanks, guys.
absolutely. Thank you.
Yay. Alrighty, we want to go over belief system real quick.
Yes.
Who has a win-win example from this past week? Anybody? Even online, anybody have a win-win, an example of a win-win scenario that occurred in the last week or recently? They can expound on.
I have a win-win. It's an ongoing, we're talking like months, and it just keeps being a win-win. Long story short, short story long, there was a client who was working with another agent, different brokerage. He's with a program. He ended up having a connection with me and wanting to work with me. the right thing to do by this agent, because I didn't want to leave her in a bad situation, and a win-win was I was going to give her a referral fee. Because it wasn't technically a referral, I was going to offer 15%. I have no knowledge of this program, it's NACA. And she was like, well, how about you give me the 25% referral and I will guide you and mentor you through this entire NACA process. And I was like, win-win. I get to learn, she doesn't lose out. Fast forward, we're a few months in and we're in a deal with NACA and it has gone complete left turn, sideways, insane. And I called her up and was like, I need help. This is the situation. And I'm talking within a matter of a half an hour. She had the lead person from Cleveland on the phone. She had the lead person from the mortgage on the phone. And she got, like, I mean, we're not ironed out, but she, with her connections, pulled all of these people in to help save my deal. And so that was just a win-win. Like, it's not her client anymore. She could have just said, you know, the referral agreement's signed, you know, whatever. But we really pulled together to work this out for the client and for the seller. You know, she and I, it was a win-win for everyone.
Yeah.
That's
Good.
awesome.
Good. Good. All right. Integrity, we can go down through these, and anyone who has any examples of any of the particular beliefs. I know that for me, a big one for this past week was communication. Eva and Joe and I had a tremendous experience in Austin last week on Mega Leadership Camp. Not going to go into breaking down all 4 days for you, but it was unique in the sense that, boy, there was my biggest aha, I guess I could take away from it was, regardless of what was discussed, what was being pitched or provided as far as information and content, breakout sessions early in the morning into, you know, the wee hours of the night, you know, with people networking and breaking off new groups and talking and brainstorming, masterminding, what have you. 4 days worth of it, and I didn't hear one negative, nobody complaining, nobody reacting to something in a negative way. When something was brought up or introduced to us and a breakout session would end, you would see in this huge ballroom, and probably what, 200 tables.
Oh, yeah.
And
Easily.
half of those tables for a good hour, hour and a half. After the breakout session, you would still see people sitting there communicating and working to understand what was rolled out, how they can apply it, how it's going to work for their agents back home. These leaders were exactly that all week. And it was just such a unique, uniquely warming experience to see that many leaders, 1,500 people, coming together to work on ways to better themselves so they can help, you know, the agents in their market center and actually, you know, even beyond.
Yeah.
So that communication was a big one, and seeking to understand creativity. Obviously, there was 1,000,001 creative things going on last week. So a lot of, I could probably do the whole gamut here of everything we went through.
We lived it last week for sure.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
Yeah,
It's hard
I
not to.
mean, there was one point we were sitting down for a 3-hour working dinner where we just brainstormed ideas the entire time. So
Just the three of us.
yeah, it was me, Doug, and Joe, and some good Italian food. So
Yeah. So, okay, we can move on.
I
Let's
just
just-
have
yeah,
one for
please.
your belief system.
Yeah.
I just wanted to spotlight Natasha because for commitment, Natasha had a deal where her buyers were purchasing a home and we had to do 2 appraisals because it was the person that re-bought it and then was selling it. It was the guidelines. And there were 2 inspections, and Natasha, I'm not sure if she's on the call, but she was fabulous. There was paint chips and all these issues that kept coming back, and it wasn't her home to sell, but she was out there putting soil down, picking up paint chips. She was willing to like get a pressure washer so I just thought Natasha was like fabulous on that deal. And I think she really went above and beyond for her buyers. So I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. I just wanted to take a second to highlight KW Cares. If you happen to have had money delivered to me in the past, I guess, week now, you might have seen that I have created a new template for when I email you the scans that I have. Basically, for it, I just want to highlight that with KW Cares, when you are submitting your commission request, when your deal is closing, you can actually donate to KW Cares right out of your commission. And so that way, when Eva, sends out your DA and gets you paid, it can just come directly out of it that way. And the reason that, that I think that it's such an important organization to donate to is the fact that they are committed to helping basically everyone in the KW family. And so, if there happens to be an agent who, or several agents who have been affected, by like a wildfire or tornado or a hurricane, or there's some crazy medical expenses that suddenly come up that they can't cover, KW Cares will donate the money so then they can, gain some stability again. And, during natural causes that, like climate events and stuff, they will donate like generators and clean water, just to make sure that everyone in the KW family and their families are being taken care of. And this was actually suggested by Deanna at our ALC meeting. And so shout out to Deanna for reminding me again that, just how important this is. So if you have a hand money, you'll see a template that I've created, just has a little did you know about, or about KW Cares. So if you want to donate, it could be as little as $1, it could be upwards as whatever you want. So I just wanted to put that in there.
Thank you, Deanna.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And why I push it so much is that, I lost my only son, and, they were there for me along with our office. And I mean, kudos to Ryan Edmondson, who he raised $1,000 for me to help with my son's funeral expense. But it's something that, I dug in even previous before I lost my son. There was an incident where I want to say she was in Texas, and she got in a major car accident, and KW Care stepped up. So it's just something that I think that is like almost reinvesting in yourself. And it's just the kudos that we have this type of opportunity within our own organization to be able to help, our agents and our agents' families.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Appreciate you sharing as well. I know. Well, that was a bit, heavy, but now we're going to go to new office updates. These were taken about a week and a half ago, I think, at this point, by Joe when he was out here last. They have the framing up. I know that Jackie with Forward Management has been out recently as well, and plumbing is being finalized. Wiring, I actually just remembered this. Joe, if you're still on the call, you will need to make decisions about where wiring goes in the walls before they close them up. So, but yeah, the little things, yeah.
So I have a question with that. They have a big old sign in the back of the building with hired Hannah, CBRE, for rent. And that took me for a look.
I'm glad you brought that up, Deanna, because it was raised last week before last, I think it was, about getting signage for the front and back. So we're on board with doing something like that, and kind of a coming soon to the neighborhood type of situation. So we'll work towards getting something finalized by the end of this week, and maybe get something up, in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
No, Doug, this sign it's a sign saying for lease, like by CBRE is like, looks like they're marketing our space.
Oh, okay. I can't speak to that. I know they have other parcels in that building, or there are other
Okay.
rentable parcels in that building, I'm not sure.
So over the summer, we went out there, I don't know if it was when you went out, Doug, or not, and the gentleman who had taken us in, I asked the question, I was like, well, why is that sign still in the window? And it was either the kid or it possibly could have been Joe, said, well, when you go under contract on a house, do you take the for sale sign out of the yard? And I was like, no. So for sure, there's still marketing is the response that I got. They're still marketing because they have other properties, but it's the same to the effect of keeping the for sale sign in the yard because it generates just client business.
But I think if we're permitted to do so, we're definitely gonna put signage up on the front and back of that building for a coming soon. That was, Jennifer brought that up week before last, and that's definitely something we wanna make sure we can get up if we're able to. So.
Yeah, hopefully that will go away soon. April birthdays, just want to cover them real quick. We had Christina on the 4th, Brian and Heather Edmondson are birthday buddies, and so they are on the 22nd. Mike Parolo is on the 28th, and then Chris Keller is on the 29th. So happy birthday to them in the past and future. And so let's go through here. Just wanted to say happy anniversary to those who also joined us in April. Jayla here in the room.
Jayla!
Hey.
Hey.
And then Stephanie Weiss, Aaron Mason, and Tina Ashcraft. So happy anniversary to everyone. Yes. Okay. And then I want to welcome, we have 3 new agents who joined us in this past month. Andy Weaver she is awesome. She's been in PC pretty frequently. Lisa Sikora will be joining our Altoona office.
Yeah, her origins are KW, though. She's
Yes, she is. There's a Sephora family dish. Isn't there a Sephora here that's in the south?
Not sure.
I'll
Maybe,
look it up.
but she started in KW State College way back when she began her career. So she is some KW roots, but yes. And then Sheenam comes to us from Atlanta, GA. Just, yeah, just closed on her house here, so she's going to be joining us in the next few weeks after she gets settled down to get rolling. So, yeah. And we're adding, guys. Just so you know, we have like a ton of people in school right now studying to get their licenses that are we're anticipating to be signing with us in the very near future. So our team is growing pretty rapidly. So.
And Andy's husband is in school right now, and he's taking classes over ramp. He used to be my loan officer with First Commonwealth. So he pushed Andy to become a real estate agent. She's excited. And right now her husband Harold is in class over at ramp. He took his first classes, I want to say last week. So he'll be joining us shortly also.
I just want to throw this out there as we're talking about classes. Just so that everybody understands what we have for onboarding when we want a new to business agent or someone who wants to be a new to business agent. We are offering free classes through Kaplan online. So, and there's no contract with that. So it's not like a hook, a hook, line and sinker situation. This is if you know somebody who's interested, what I'm doing and what other market centers are trying now because Kaplan's so new, is we're putting our new to business folks through KW Prep first. That gives them a chance to whet their palate. It's free, gives them a chance to understand the company and the business a little bit before diving into the more arduous classes that we have in real estate, in the real estate world. So it's a 2-step process, but it's worth it because that first step is allowing you to allowing whomever to understand the business before diving into the classes. Both are free. So anyone who wants to jump in, have them reach out to me or Alana, and we'll get them signed up and we'll get them into the school.
I work with a girl,
Yeah.
a lady that started in real estate classes and everything expired, that she had a kid and
Yeah.
everything's going on, so she's sharp. I mean, she'd be
Good
good
fit.
at things, so yeah,
Good.
absolutely.
Good.
So that's, I could definitely pass her information.
Yeah, definitely reach out to whomever. Now is really a good time to start because you get your license before if you really get to cracking on it and you're sharp and stay on it, you get your license for the end of summer, you get a little bit of the end of the buying season, if you really want to call it that. But you get some really good experience from the summer, the nice weather, and you really get to learn it. So anyone who knows anybody who's interested in becoming an agent, the time is now. The time is now, and it doesn't cost anything.
And Alana is actually going through the classes right now, so she can
That's right.
attest to the quality.
Get out.
Yeah, I
yeah.
signed up, and so I've only done like an hour and a half of it.
And
Let
I'm
me
gonna
know if
break,
you want my quiz on.
I'm gonna
Got
break,
mine on the
I'm
list.
gonna break my arm, pat myself on the back, because when I started here,
She was like,
she's
no
like,
way.
I said, you should get your license. Absolutely not. I have no desire to do that. And it was 3 weeks ago, a month ago.
Yeah, I was like, so what do you think if I got my license? And he was like, yes, and I was like, okay.
Look,
Yeah.
it's worth it. If you're gonna be around it, it's worth it to know what you're.
Well, and to be able to have a substantive conversation. It doesn't mean that you have to be a practicing realtor, but you can answer questions.
Yeah, because that was also part of it, because being agent services and getting further into that role, I have been asked fairly technical questions before, and
You
How-
gotta- you
I was
gotta-
like-
Gotta know the ground.
Just a
yeah,
real- Is it online? They
Yeah.
do it at their own time and place, or is it like Tuesdays?
Self-paced.
Self-paced,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
So anytime you want to do it, 11 o'clock at night.
yeah. I mean, Doug because Doug is the keeper of all K scores, he can attest to the weird hours I keep with doing them.
I'll tell you what though, what I liked about it, because I took Real Estate U and it was online self-paced. Real Estate U was audible, right? So I played it, which was nice for me because I could do two things at once. But anyone here who's read the one thing will tell you that doing two things at once is never good. And I can tell you that I've had to go back and, brush up on a lot of things that I would have learned if I was paying attention to the audible, right? Kaplan forces you to read it.
Yep.
Forcing you to read it, you're digesting that information a little bit more accurately. And when you get to the testing, you'll be better prepared. Because anyone who's taken a real estate test will tell you, it's not fun if you're not ready. Especially if you're not ready. It's not fun anyway, but it's not fun if you're not ready. So anyway, not fun.
Yeah. Learned about water rights again,
Oh, that's good stuff.
I was an advice-I major.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, glad I'm learning about this again.
Could we just kick Ryan to the curb?
Yeah.
already?
Top 5 agents with
kidding.
closed units.
Hey, Ryan.
Everyone.
There's his acknowledgement.
Here he is.
Yeah.
Sticker.
This is zone house count.
Hi.
Yeah.
Going out already.
Deanna girl. Yeah, so we got Market Center numbers. Eva will take it away.
We're at the most interesting part of the meeting, guys. Hope you're ready.
Some
So
of us like numbers.
good. I'm glad. That brings joy to my heart.
This is my favorite part, like the numbers. This is
Should
my
be,
favorite part.
yeah.
So hang on, we're just answering a question in the chat.
She can't see the numbers.
No.
Sorry, that's my bad.
The most important, sorry, I should have had it memorized, it's fine. So our closed units, we are up 11.8% month over month. Year to date, that's up 4.4%. That doesn't seem like a large amount, but this is the highest closed sales volume we've had since July of 2021. And the highest March that we've had since 2018. So
With how many units again?
57, I believe.
Yeah. I think it was.
Okay.
When we went over the numbers yesterday.
It's either 53 or 57.
Yeah.
The this feels like a test.
It's a quiz.
Our closed sales volume is up 9% over last month. You will see though, year to date, we're down 12.6%. And then same with listings, we're seeing a decline of 37%, down 16% year to date. And you know, that's not really necessarily the worst thing. You'll see that the listings sold, even though we took less listings, we sold more listings. So we're up 26% month over month, 3% year to date. But the listings sold this month have been the highest since May of 2018. So I think a lot of what's going on is, you know, we're having that doom and gloom conversation, but really we're over what we have been. We're doing, you know, we're running sort of similarly to our 2018 numbers in that sense. So even though you're seeing, you know, the listings taken volume is showing down a lot, it isn't necessarily something to worry about. And then for the contracts written, we're up 41.9% month over month, up 19.7% since last month. Contracts written volume, so the amounts of those contracts are up 37.8% since last month, and 11.9% over the year. The closed GCI up 8%, year to date is down 11.5%. And company dollar, we're actually seeing a 9.2% increase since last month, 3.4% up year to date.
Trending in the right direction.
That's right.
Yeah. I want to take a second, if anybody's on from Johnstown, Altoona. Johnstown, Altoona, you guys are doing a great job on that end.
Yeah,
Bringing in and
absolutely.
contributing to these numbers. So it's a team effort. Those two offices are doing a great
Really
job
great
converting
things.
leads and getting contracts written. So
Yeah,
a big piece of what we're seeing here is because of the effort from everybody on our team, Market Center wide. So.
and if we can just give them a quick round of applause, that's awesome.
Also, I did just want to clarify because I realized that I think I misunderstood. So these market center numbers cover all of our market centers, and then the top 5 agents with closed units, that was just a Pittsburgh number. But these market center numbers represent all 3 offices combined after our transmittal numbers. So this is from that report. So that's what I wanted to clarify from Fran's question that she asked.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He better be in here.
Is he here?
He better be.
Oh, look at the time. Look at that. I was like,
Are you leaving?
He left. All right. Anyway, I know. Rude. So I wanted to say this Thursday, Joe will be coming to the office. He actually will be coming in Wednesday night, but he will be hosting this class on Thursday after the ribbon cutting that both him and Doug will be attending at our Johnstown office. It will be on lead generation. I highly encourage people to come in person, but I do have a Zoom link for it. It works, I promise. And so, you know, because the market is shifting and, you know, I feel like everyone's kind of, you know, like a little uneasy, maybe a little scared, restless about, you know, what that means for their business. And so, you know, the number one thing for, you know, to increase your business is, especially that I've read in the Shift book, is lead generation is number one. And so this, oh look,
There
he's
he is.
back.
There he
hey,
is.
Jose.
But yeah, so we'll be, Joe will be leading, you know, tips and tricks, you know, systems to set for yourself to be successful in this shift.
I'm here.
Hello, you want anything else?
I was like, I apologize. I had to get bumped off here for a few minutes and I came back. I was like, oh, that's my name. So yeah, the lead, it's going to be a workshop style. So it's going to be definitely like very conversation, not just like saying these are the exact things that you need to do and nothing else will work. It's going to be a little bit of a workshop, but we're going to dive into specifically like where do you get the information for the sellers, or where do you get the information for your data on what you're going to do and what kind of leads you should be going after right now. And just tactically, it's going to be a little bit of strategy followed by a very good amount of tactical stuff on what you can be doing, like what you can wake up in the morning and do that will help you make money.
Awesome.
All right, and then I wanted to talk about Red Day a little bit because it is coming up. We have a little bit less than a month now. Red Day is on May 12th. We will be volunteering from 10 to 2 p.m. at Garfield Community Farm. They're only like 7 minutes away from our office here, and they are just down the road, like less than 5 minutes from our new office. They are a partner with the East Liberty Presbyterian Church, our neighbor right there. And so this is what we were planning on doing, just to kind of give back to the community and, you know, introduce ourselves to the people who will be our neighbors. If you can come for the whole time, I highly encourage it. I will be there the whole time.
Snacks will be provided.
Snacks will be provided. We'll take a lunch break at about noon.
Will we need to bring any supplies like gloves? Or like, are we cleaning up a garden? What are we doing?
Yeah, so we're basically, you know, because we're getting into, you know, like the really big gardening season, I basically signed us up for anything and everything that they need us to do. So like mending fences, weeding, planting perennials, you know, like maybe like laying out bark dust. So
And they'll have all those tools, right?
Yep. So
Awesome.
they will be the ones providing like the gloves, and then any tools that are necessary for us. And so we are just in charge of, you know, bringing our snacks for our little lunch break that we'll take at noon, and then like waters, sunscreen if it's nice. I hope it's nice.
Dressing appropriately.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. And you know, so don't you know, wear work clothes ideally, if you can, things that you don't feel torn up about if they get dirty. So yeah, so I will yes, I can do that. And but yeah, so I'll be sending out like reminders again and again. Also, Red Day t-shirts.
Get your t-shirt.
Tell me what your shirt size is so I can order it. The cutoff is the 25th for it to arrive on time. I don't want to place an order on the 25th, ideally by the end of this week. If you committed on the poll that I put on Facebook, and you don't tell me your shirt size, I'm going to guess it. So if you don't want a wrong size shirt, tell me what your shirt size is. That is the only thing. So yeah, so then also for Johnstown and Altoona offices, you are more than welcome to come and participate in our Red Day, or if you want to do something specifically for Johnstown or Altoona, like with the community center, you could even do like food drive or a pet food drive. You can do whatever you want with your agents. The market center will be ordering shirts for everybody. So if you just get me agents' shirt sizes, I can just get those ordered, and then
And ideally by the end of the week.
yeah, exactly. And then I'm voluntelling Doug that he gets to move the shirts around once they get delivered to the Pittsburgh office. Since you do that drive.
Like courier.
Yes, exactly.
I worked at FedEx.
Yeah. So yeah, so we got that.
Ladies, thank you for everybody who put that together for us for Red Day. It's super exciting to be a part of a community and in our community for Red Day.
Yes. Great work,
Yes.
everybody.
Yeah, but yeah, so I saw Fran's comment. Yeah, so if you have like a community food bank that people really like to volunteer at, it really is Red Day is just about giving back to the community, specifically on May 12th. And so yeah, whatever works best for you. For your offices, definitely coordinate with your agents as well. So yeah, but that's kind of all I had to say. We are running a bit low on time, so I will just go through the last couple slides here real quick. Career visioning there's one on May 17th with John Clady and Michelle McBride. It is in person, and so then I have the entry fee down there. It's $199 right now. So if you are interested in attending this, if you go onto the Greater PA Eventbrite page, you can sign yourself up. I have heard really, really good things about this class, and just kind of setting yourself straight and figuring out kind of like what you need to do for your business.
It helps you also dive into the KPA and learn how to use that to your advantage.
Yep.
If you're hiring people or just want to know more about your results for the KPA. If you haven't taken the KPA yet, we do offer that through the Market Center. Just let me know and I'll be happy to send you one. And then that way you can sort of go through, and it's really like a deep personality test. I went through it and I was very shocked at how accurate it described me. So
it's hauntingly accurate.
Yeah.
I don't. They're like, there's like, what is it? Spatial awareness, and then they're like, you like to share your thoughts only if you're comfortable, and you're like, I'm not sure how you got that from me telling you how many blocks there are, but okay. Weird but true. But yeah, that's that. And then also, this is me bullying you. 6 weeks exactly from today, you must complete your CE to renew your real estate license.
I got a few of them in my email.
Yes.
Jennifer Burns is one of them.
Yeah. Everyone at the office as well, if you have an inbox for mail, you probably have a 15% discount for your CE classes if you are missing any of them. It's again 6 weeks from today. Let this judgy white man be the motivator. Otherwise, well,
There are, listen, in Facebook, if you're on Facebook, CE Shop throws out 30% all the time. Kaplan's just $30 off the normal price of $99, and it's right now it's $69, or maybe it's $20 off.
And the office has renewed already, so you should be good to go to start renewing right now.
yes, it's normally is it how many hours total, or does it
14.
14 and 14 and a half.
Yep.
Okay, let me look into that. Interesting.
Yeah. We'll reach out to you.
Yeah, I'll give you an update once I have a chance to take a look.
Yeah.
Alana, to answer your question, it's 7 units per year. It's 14 units every renewal cycle. You can always work towards upgrading your license to associate broker before next renewal season as well.
Good insight, Chris.
Yeah. Anyways, 6 weeks. Please do it.
Get cracking. Don't wait till the last minute.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm gonna sick Doug on you. So.
Sorry.
But that's it.
Wait, I have one further update.
sick
Oh
people.
yes,
Before we
that's
finish.
right. That's right.
You're scarier than I am. Come on.
So not to continue bullying, but
Yeah. This is a
agent
shakedown,
fees,
actually.
I have been working on collecting them, getting them up to date. There are quite a few of you that have expired cards. Please, 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 if your card has not been charged yet, come find me. I will be in touch with you otherwise, but it's a lot quicker if you come to me and provide that information.
Yeah, that's me.
Don't make me chase you down.
Certain points. I just-
Eva, be prepared to chase them down.
So I know mine's is off the grid or something. So, everybody's talking about affordable housing, right? So I have 2 units coming over in Manchester. They're in the alley, but my last 5 listings were in the alley over in Manchester and they sold like within a week. But these 2 units are located on Warno Street and they're going to be listed for $130,000 with a second deferred mortgage, preferably up to $35,000. I call it 2 bedrooms with a bonus room. They're drop dead gorgeous in the inside. The outside is like, but yeah, so if you know anybody who's looking for something in that price range, which is, not the norm right now in Pittsburgh, they should be live by Saturday.
Awesome. Is Mike Gaunt on the call? We have a shared listing coming up. I'm just jumping in. Sorry, Deanna, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, we have a shared listing on Heron. It's a side-by-side duplex. It looks pretty junky on the outside. I haven't been inside yet, but that's gonna get listed in the next week. I have a listing, cute listing in Manor out in Westmoreland, another one in Jeanette that is beautifully renovated, little raised ranch. And I have one coming up, a little 3-bedroom in Brentwood, kind of Baldwin area, very, very cute. And another one in Churchill. So really pretty mid-century modern off of Beulah on Fenwick in Churchill. So look for those.
And also I have a weird church over in Hazelwood, a little overpriced, shouldn't have that on the recording, but it can be a great space to convert it into maybe a loft work live place. Then I have one out in Plumboro on Scarlett Street. The actual owner is my previous client that he reached out to me. He's living in Georgia now. Really cute. It's maybe 3.5 years old, no more than 4.
Awesome.
I have something coming up. I have the nicest house in Brentwood is going to be listed. It's going to be like, it will raise eyebrows if we sell it at the price, but we're going to be listing at a price that is well below the total that they've put into it over the past year. They were expecting to be here forever and they're moving to Texas, but it's going to be $350,000. It is a showstopper. I mean, absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous home. If you have anybody that's been trying to get into like Mount Lebanon and they just can't, this could be a good alternative to get a really amazing house.
I have an option for people over in Verona. It's Verona Penn Hill School District. It's 410 Roseanne Drive. It has absolutely exquisite hardwood floors. It's a big, big ranch, huge rooms, showcase kitchen, beautiful living area with curved ceilings. It has a sunken deck. It's coming fully outfitted with all the furniture for spring. We're priced at $289,000.
Cool.
Awesome.
Just so that you guys know, for anyone who hasn't been in the office, if you see, there's a board out just outside the conference room that we just kind of overtook. It was sitting in storage and we decided to put it to good use. Alana thinking on her toes about how to use it. We're getting listings put up. So it'll have the data sheet, an abbreviated data sheet up for you for all of our listings.
We take that art now? We take that art now?
Yes.
That's been the thing. We were like, where are we gonna put it?
Yeah, our plan is to take the 3 framed horrific photos, and then slap that baby up there. We're just trying to figure out the best way for it to be secured to the wall.
Allie can hold it.
I thank y'all for that, to take them pictures down. That is a wonderful, wonderful idea.
Yeah, the thing is, there's a big hole behind it.
Yeah,
So
so
that, we're gonna move that to the, when we get into the new building, and it's gonna be, you know,
Front
one
and
of the
center.
main hallways gonna have.
That's
Yeah.
what I come with
Yeah.
us.
yeah, so
Could I make a suggestion for the new building? I know they do it up in Squirrel Hill for Berkshire, right? By us being more physical, they have like this, a little TV. I don't know if it's a TV or what it is, because I'm not tech savvy, but it shows their properties like on a consistent, like, so if you're standing at the bus stop, you can actually see, you know, the listings that this office have. Maybe that might be something that we could do, because since that we're more visible up on that end of Bomb, you know, because you have Solas, who has consistent customers coming in. You have, you know, AAA across the street. I mean, you just have more traffic. And maybe, or, you know, or something like a flag saying, hey, Keller Williams, I don't know. I was just thinking outside of the box, how to bring more business into the office.
No, I think we'll do, I think we can add that to it. I think,
Yeah.
I like the physical board. I like having the data sheet up for our agents as a reference piece, but definitely their carousel would be a nice touch
yeah,
for the lobby. I think it'd be a good touch.
I love it.
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I do. I review and add new listings every Friday. And then I also will go through and take down properties that have sold. So yeah, I think, you know, if it's, I'm only doing them, or I'm only pulling them out of the MLS because that's the only thing that I can consistently do. So if you happen to have anything off market, just email me. And
We need to give you a big like under contract stamp. That would look kind of.
oh
cool.
yeah, across, yeah. Doug and I were actually talking about that like literally like 2 minutes ago.
Pending or under contract.
Mhm.
We get a stamp though.
Yeah.
Elena, are we going to do anything for Friday for Earth Day?
No, not at this time, because Joe is doing his workshop on Thursday. So well, I know that you're referencing what we talked about in ALC last week. So we're thinking of kind of pushing that out into next month. Just, you know, because, you know, having like a Grow With Us kind of class to talk about like goal setting, spring fling, it can be like applicable further down the line as well. So I think that's just what we're going to end up doing. So it's not rushed and, you know, incomplete or something.
Great, that's great.
What's that? Oh, yes, CPR class as well. That's tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Yes, it's
Tomorrow.
tomorrow at 5.
Wait, today's Tuesday. I thought it was
Today's
today.
No, it's tomorrow.
What the heck? Should I-
Yes, so anyways, CPR class is tomorrow. It will be at 5 p.m. It will be through Fort Cherry Ambulance.
$15 a head.
Yep, normally it's about $30. So the Market Center is willing to eat half of that cost. You will get your certification that is valid for 2 years for $15, which I think is really awesome. CPR is tomorrow.
See, yeah, tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Yep.
Here. No, I didn't. Okay, well, I meant Wednesday, 5 p.m.
Yeah, but yeah, so come, you can get your certification for both CPR and first aid as part of Wellness April. And then next week will be yoga on Wednesday as well. And so check out the newsletter for any final information that was sent out on Monday, so yesterday. And yeah, so hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow or for PC later today. And also Chris Keller's command.
Bring your laptop.
Yes. All right, but yeah, so I know we went over. I appreciate all you guys for hanging on, for your patience. If you're in the office or you happen to come by later, we have some delicious snackies that CMCS gave us from Oakmont Bakery. So come and consume some delicious treats. Yes,
Alana, save me one of those.
I will.
I was getting ready to say the same thing, Chris.
Alana, save us both one of those, will ya?
Yes. All right, so yes, I appreciate everyone. I will have this uploaded later today, hopefully. But yeah, thank you. I will see you guys later.